There's a resident obsession among Dragon Ball fans regarding scenarios or stories in which Goku becomes captured or trapped in some way by a powerful or malicious force. There are immensely popular stories like Dragon Ball Kakume or YouTube videos like What If Goku Was Betrayed or Trapped in the Time Chamber. So today, I thought I'd talk about a hypothetical scenario that combines Dragon Ball with a series literally all about capturing and imprisoning powerful beings, the SCP universe. For those who don't know, SCP stands for Secure, Contain, Protect, and is a massive, ongoing, collaborative fiction project about a mysterious secret organization whose main goal is to keep humanity safe by capturing and imprisoning beings and objects that would pose some sort of threat to humanity, the whole world, or maybe even the universe itself. Each being is cataloged by the organization and given an information file numbered from SCP-001 all the way to, as of writing this video, 7,999. These files contain information as to the nature of the being and how it is contained. As SCP is a collaborative fiction project, the concept of one single canon is quite literally impossible. To quote the website itself, "We had to let go of the idea of a singular canon, meaning that every article on the site is allowed to contradict and disregard any other article, no matter how well known or popular. Did someone say the Foundation was formed in the 1960s, but you need the Foundation to exist in World War II? The Foundation is now from the 19th century. Sure. You want a Foundation that has more resources than the eye can see? Go wild. You want a Foundation that's penniless? Why not? As long as the story is interesting, your freedom is basically unlimited." While this is often phrased as there is no canon, this doesn't mean that nothing on the site can coexist. Many articles can share the same universe, and some explicitly reference each other. It just means that you don't have to try and fit everything into a single version of the Foundation. This carries over to the many different stories, games, and short films of SCP, with the Foundation itself having drastically different technological capabilities between stories. In some stories, the Foundation has technology capable of creating an infinite number of timelines and universes, while in other stories, they fail to contain beings that aren't much stronger than a normal human. So this video in and of itself will be its own canon of the SCP universe, doing my best to take into account the SCPs that I'm the most familiar with, and the median level of capability that the Foundation seems capable of wielding within the explicit SCP entries. I don't have every SCP memorized, and there might be an entry for something identical to Goku that is easily contained, but I don't know about it. In fact, I'd love to hear your own ideas and theories about how the SCP Foundation could potentially contain the characters from Dragon Ball Z. For this scenario, we are functioning under the notion that the Z Fighters and the SCP Foundation coexist within the same universe. The SCP Foundation perhaps replacing the Red Ribbon Army and knowing of Goku's and Vegeta's exploits, wanting to contain the two of them. While being individually some of the most powerful, they also have unique techniques that make them particularly difficult for the Foundation to handle. It's important to note the goal of the Foundation here is to contain the Saiyans and not neutralize them. Saying something like giving Goku the clockwork virus to kill him kind of goes against the entire system and morality of the Foundation of containing things. Within the Foundation, there are several major classifications of objects: Safe, Euclid, Keter, Apollyon, and Thaumiel. The first four are ranked by how difficult something is to contain, ranging from safe, which are things that are easily contained without any difficulty, to Apollyon, which cannot be contained at all. Thaumiel objects are ones that actually help or completely contain another SCP. The first question to answer is if the organization would want to contain Goku and the others at all, and the answer is yes. It's important to note that the SCP Foundation wants to contain things regardless of if they are good-willed or not. Take, for example, SCP-4051, who by all means is a good guy with superpowers, but they are still considered Keter and are contained by the organization. So even hearing rumors about what Goku or other people did during any of the Budokai Tenkaichis or against any of Earth's several invasions would prompt them to go for containment. The next question to ask is how they go about it, and I think there is an incredibly important step to how easily the next few steps to containment are. If they attempt to contain them through force or aggression, trying to kidnap Goku and Vegeta using one of the SCP's many strike teams, obviously things would go insanely poorly for the Foundation. While they do have some powerful military technology, we've seen in the past that any force suitably physically powerful enough can easily destroy their forces and technology, like the Shy Guy completely tearing tearing apart their vehicles without much difficulty. Once the organization shows any kind of aggression through direct confrontation, I think containment of Goku and Vegeta becomes nearly impossible. Once put on alert that some sort of human force is going after them, the Foundation's surprise factor goes out the window, especially if Goku decides to use his mind reading technique and glean some understanding of their goals. There's a chance that the Z Fighters treat the Foundation facilities just like Dr. Jiro's lab. That being said, outright destroying the facilities would actually be immensely difficult for them due to their secluded nature. Besides really plugging a controller into the Foundation's ass and having them ask SCP-239, who is a girl who can make her wishes into reality based on her own perception, to contain them, they are probably screwed in this scenario and will have to put up with letting them remain uncontained Apollyon-class SCPs. However, if the SCP Foundation is a bit more cautious in its approach, perhaps even risky, they might be able to pull something off. Assuming they know more things about the actual character traits and personalities of Goku and Vegeta, they might be able to get some serious advantages here. The Saiyans can pretty easily be convinced to follow people they just met under the promise of something they want or would be entertained by. Just look at how the Heaters during the Granola arc managed to convince Goku and Vegeta to spend 18 days on a spaceship just to fight someone who is actively trying to assassinate them. In other words, if the Foundation manages to approach the Saiyans with the outward appearance of not being a threat or an enemy, perhaps even being helpful to them, they might just have a chance. But what could they actually do with that chance? To a degree, they need a strong, almost one-shot option that can instantly contain the Saiyans for the reasonable future. There are numerous challenges they would need to overcome to make that possible. Number 1. Most obviously is power. If the Saiyans in any form are allowed to keep their abilities at all, they would probably just break out of any cell. And 2, teleportation. Even ignoring their strength, if for whatever reason Goku and Vegeta can't break out of the cell, they could probably just use instant transmission to teleport out. If somehow they got contained by being placed into an alternate dimension like SCP-106, they might just be able to scream or shatter their way back out like Gotenks or Broly did. So, what can the organization do to capture beings who in most ways cannot be forcefully contained, harmed, or restrained in any meaningfully physical way? Cognitohazards and amnestics. Here's how I think the SCP Foundation could pull it off. First, the SCP send operatives posing as a friendly new organization, who may even be transparent about their aims to keep Earth safe through managing powerful and dangerous beings. They may play it up for the Saiyans and essentially bring them along under the guise that there are strong beings for them to fight, and that they're doing this for the sake of research or just testing out everyone's power involved. The Saiyans would then be brought to numerous facilities, potentially fighting against many different of the more powerful Keter-class SCPs in containment, like the lesser form of SCP-682. Again, in this scenario, we are functioning under the assumption that the organization knows essentially most of the details about the Saiyans and what they're like, and any weaknesses that can take advantage of. And I think the one weakness that they can substantially take advantage of is food. Saiyans eat a lot and don't even seem skeptical of the food they've ever been given, even by complete strangers. It is here where the Foundation might just be able to dose the Saiyans with powerful amnestics. Amnestics in the SCP universe are powerful and sometimes anomalous drugs that use nanoparticles in the brain to erase, change, or alter memories on the physical level. Kind of like the equivalent of the Men in Black glasses and light combo. If they can stall the Saiyans long enough, through different fights against SCPs and by bringing them to many of their locations across the world, they might be able to repeatedly dose the Saiyans with amnestics over the course of several days through food. They would likely be given Class F, Class B, or Class D amnestics, though it would likely only be one at a time as mixing them is not recommended. Class F is the most potent, which can cause someone to forget everything and gain a whole new personality, with new memories entirely. If the SCP Foundation can successfully dose the Saiyans enough to do this, they might be able to convince them to be complacent and forget the fact that they are Saiyan warriors with ki techniques. While Goku and Vegeta are really strong naturally, deleting their memories of how to use ki, or even the knowledge of ki in general, may put them in a very similar situation to Captain Ginyu, no longer being able to access their body's abilities anymore to a significant degree. If they're really desperate, they could use something like SCP-2140, which is an image that when witnessed makes someone become a member of the SCP Foundation itself. Though it would be powerful enough to alter the memories of everyone in Goku and Vegeta's lives, especially when they aren't human and would have to change their whole backstories, is admittedly questionable. Could the SCP Foundation contain the Saiyans? It's questionable. If everything goes perfectly, their knowledge is nearly absolute, and everything works as intended, they have a chance of actually being able to potentially contain them. But what do you think? Did I miss something crazy from the main SCP lore? Perhaps you have another idea of how they could pull it off. Let me know your ideas or how I'm wrong in the comments down below. See ya!